With the iPhone 15 releasing this Friday, September 22nd, here is all the information you need to know to choose the right device for you this year. Firstly, some of the new features on iPhone 15 this year are going to be the same across the board, regardless of whether you choose the standard or Pro models. The main one is going to be that they all have the dynamic island this year. Another great upgrade that we finally saw this year is the change to USB-C. So all of the iPhones have USB-C and the Lightning port has been removed. We did also see an upgrade in the screen brightness this year. It actually goes up to 2000 nits in peak outdoor brightness. This is twice as bright as the iPhone 14 was. And although the cameras are going to be different, some of the features on the camera are going to be the same. Mainly is the new next generation portraits option. So even if you don't set it in portrait mode, you can go back and turn photos into portraits or change the focus on an already taken portrait photo to a different person. And the new service that Apple's offering called roadside assistance via satellite will be included on all of the 15 lineup this year. It actually is going retroactively to the 14 and 14 Pros as well. This is included for free for 2 years from the time that you activate the device. I did make a short explaining this in more detail. If you want to watch it, that'll be up in the cards. Alright, so now probably the biggest question on iPhone every year is whether to choose the standard or the Pro model. They definitely have their differences, but some features may not be important to you depending on how you plan to use your phone. So here are the main differences to keep in mind. The iPhone 15 Pro, as you've probably seen marketed just about everywhere, is going to have a titanium frame this year. This is supposed to be more lightweight and more durable than the stainless steel that they used in previous years. Now with the standard iPhone 15, you're going to have an aluminum frame. Now the durability between these two materials on paper is definitely going to give the iPhone 15 Pro an advantage. However, the way that you use your phone, especially if you're putting a case on it, may not necessarily make too much of a difference what the frame is made of. The next difference is the action button. Now the standard 15 is going to have what we're used to, which is the ring silent button. This new action button will have basically the same functionality to silence or turn on the sound on your phone, but it also gives you the ability to have a customizable button on your phone too. So with a long press, it toggles between ring and silent modes. With a short press, you can have it do a slew of different things like turning on your flashlight, opening up your camera, or triggering a shortcut. As we discussed before, USB-C will be included across the board on this lineup too. However, the transfer speeds is going to be different. On the standard 15 this year, it's USB 2, meaning that it only allows up to 480 megabits per second. Now with the iPhone 15 Pro, it's actually 20 times faster because it has USB 3, and this allows up to 10 gigabits per second when transferring. Both the Pro and standard iPhone 15 have a 48 megapixel main camera and an ultra-wide lens. However, the Pro models, just like previous years, do have a third lens, which is a telephoto lens. This allows you to zoom in a lot further on the Pro model than you would on the standard, just using the optical zoom. The Pro models do also have a new second generation stabilization system in their cameras as well, which allows for up to 10,000 adjustments per second. That's twice the amount over the 15 and what we've seen in previous years. Now, since this phone isn't released yet and we haven't really seen any demo footage of what the stabilization actually looks like, this might be a negligible difference. It's hard to say until we actually get a hands-on look at the cameras on these phones. The Pro camera system this year also has quite a few different upgrades for professionals that are looking to use an iPhone for their professional videography or photography. The main one would be that you can now film 4K 60 frame per second ProRes footage with external recording. What that means is that using that new USB-C port, you can now plug in an external hard drive to your iPhone and record directly onto that hard drive. And the Pro will also have log video recording this year as well, and this follows the Academy color encoding system. In simple terms, this basically just means that it follows the exact same guidelines as Hollywood movies do when it comes to how the footage is recorded in order to color grade it in the post-production process. Now on the inside of the iPhone, you will also have different processors, as we always do. The standard is going to have the A16 Bionic chip, while the Pro models this year have the brand new A17 Pro chip. As always, that means that you will have slightly faster performance on the Pro models, and they did seem to have a big focus on gaming with the Pro models this year as well. So with this new Pro chip, it actually has hardware accelerated ray tracing, which just means that this phone is going to have the ability to do a lot more realistic and detailed graphics than any other iPhone has been able to before. The refresh rate of the screen is also going to be a difference. The standard models are going to be at 60 Hz, while the Pro models, as always, have ProMotion, and that supports up to 120 Hz. Battery performance is also another factor to consider. The Pro models are going to have a longer lasting battery than the standard models do by quite a few hours. Capacity between these two options is going to be different as well. So with the standard models, you can choose anywhere from 128 to 512 gigabytes, but the Pro models actually go up to 1 terabyte on the storage. The Pro models this year also have something new, which is thread networking technology. This is basically a smart home language that allows your phone to connect with smart home thread-enabled devices to be able to control them a lot faster and without a Wi-Fi connection. Now, the last thing I would note here as far as differences go is less about performance, but more about aesthetics. So just note that the colors on the standard iPhone 15 are a lot more colorful than they will be on the Pro models. And they have a new color-infused back glass as well. So even the glass around the lenses of the camera is going to match in color to whichever color you choose. Okay, so that all being said, if you think that the Pro model is going to be what you want to choose this year, you do still have one more decision to make. Do you go with the standard Pro or the Pro Max? Here are the differences. Obviously, the main difference is going to be the size of the phone. The iPhone 15 Pro comes in at 6.1 inches, while the Pro Max is 6.7 inches. Now, the cameras between the two Pro models are almost the same. Really, the only difference to note is that the Pro Max has a new option this year, which is a 5x optical zoom. Battery life is also a consideration here. So the iPhone 15 Pro can do up to 23 hours of video playback. This is the metric that they use to calculate battery life at Apple. The Pro Max can actually go up to 29 hours. The 15 Pro is 6.6 ounces, which is 187 grams, while the Pro Max is 7.81 ounces or 221 grams. And lastly, the capacity on these iPhones is a little bit different too. The 15 Pro can go as low as 128 gigabytes. On the Pro Max this year, the lowest capacity you can do is 256. So to summarize, what you're getting on the Pro Max that you don't get on the Pro is a larger screen size, longer battery life, a larger capacity on the default option, and a 5x optical zoom option. Now, with that being said, that does also mean that it's going to be heavier and more expensive than the Pro models. So the iPhone 15 Pro is $999. The Pro Max starts at $1,199. Okay, so if you're not as interested in all the power and features of the Pro models, the standard iPhone 15 will be a cheaper and more colorful option this year. Here are the key differences between the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. Again, the main difference is going to be the size. The iPhone 15 is 6.1 inches, the 15 Plus is 6.7 inches. And unlike the Pro models this year, you're actually not going to see any difference in the camera between the standard models. Now, the battery life is going to be different on these as well. Obviously, with a bigger iPhone, you are going to have a bit of a better battery life. On the standard 15, you've got up to 20 hours of video playback. On the 15 Plus, it's actually up to 26 hours. The standard iPhone 15 is 6.02 ounces or 171 grams, and the 15 Plus is 7.09 ounces or 201 grams. So again, to summarize, the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus have the exact same camera, but what you're getting on the Plus models that you don't get on the standard is a larger screen size and a longer battery life. Again, the downside to that is the Plus models will be heavier. And obviously you will also see a difference in pricing. It's a difference of $100. So the standard iPhone 15 starts at $799. The 15 Plus is $899. So with that being said, which iPhone are you going to pick this year? Or do you not plan on upgrading? I'd love to hear what you have to say about it in the comments below. If you learned anything new from this video, please make sure you set your action button to like this video. It helps me out a lot. And if you're interested in seeing more Apple content or really just tech content in the future, make sure you subscribe. I'd love to have you here. And if you enjoyed this video, I really think you'll like this one too. Thank you so much for watching.